Hello, hello. Oh no, are you muted again?
I am, yes. We do this every time. I think it's become a tradition now.
I think we have to do it every time now.
It's become a tradition. We just keep following that. But how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so excited for Beginners Week. What are you looking forward to, Siddharth?
Well, I have a lot of things that I've been wanting to learn lately. I know we, or all of us together, learned AI agents and MCPs and all of that when we were running the Gen AI week. But this time around, I know we're doing a lot of first-time streams, including one on R programming that Quinn's going to learn. I'm giving you a lot of sneak peeks and spoilers already. But I'm looking forward to learn a lot of the fundamentals of computer science that I may not have learned equally well when I was back in school. It was easy to listen and learn back then. But that's all I'm looking forward to. Anything specific you are interested in this week?
Honestly, I think you covered most of what I'm curious about, but I also just Beginners Week is just fun. We have a lot of folks who are joining us brand new from season launch or first time finding us after some of our season hackathons that happened over the last few weekends. I know we're just picking up the pace, but I'm sure we've got a lot of new folks. So I actually was the one who posted like, what are people looking forward to? Kind of getting a vibe for what are people looking for, and there's definitely a lot of folks who obviously are here to learn and have fun. We have a few folks who want to make new connections, but mostly people are looking forward to learning. And as a lifelong learner myself, I absolutely agree. I'm so excited. So why don't we get started then? I know we have a lot to cover, and I know people are really excited to get started as well. So first off, let's introduce ourselves. First, we have me. My name is Cecilia. I use she/her pronouns, and I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. If you happen to see me out in the wild, I am probably reading or reading. How about you?
Well, I'm Siddharth. I work as a first party events coordinator at Major League Hacking. So if you were around for the last Global Hack Week, or maybe at the last digital hackathon that we ran over on our Discord, which was Data Hack Fest, I get to work on all of those. And it's always lovely to have you all come back and tell us how you like the event and leave feedback for it. I'm also looking forward to more of that this time around. Because of the theme of the Global Hack Week, which is Beginners Week, I was thinking of what was the language that I wrote my first line of code in. And it looks like I wrote my first line of code in C++, which I thought was not a normal. So I'm curious to see in the chat if any of you started your programming journey with C++, or if you had other languages, do let us know about that in the chat as well. Cecilia, what was your first programming language? I'm curious now.
We're gonna have to go back far enough that I'm like, I've juggled so many languages over the years that I'm like, what did I start with? In university, I started with Java, but I think
Mhm.
I was. It's oscillating between Python and Java. I think it might have been Java was my first language. Yeah, I remember the first day I was told about a main function. And I was looking at them like, huh? What do you mean? I always need this function. Yeah, I do think my first one was Java. Well, there's a few folks. There's a couple folks with C++. I know that depending on the major you took at my university, a lot of folks started with C++. Whereas the other half, where my like satellite campus was, we started with Python. I
Oh,
just got a head start.
interesting. And I see a lot of C++s here in the chat, which I was not expecting to see. Python, I think, is also easier to learn. So I'm sure that's a good way to start as well. Nice to see that there's a lot of you. Oh, there's someone who learned Basic as well. I think
Oh.
learned it after C++ a little bit. Yeah, never got very deep into it. That's interesting.
I did meet someone who was experienced at Visual Basic because it ran the unit tests. They have unit tests based in Excel. Um, but like hearing about that, I think that was my first internship, and I was like, "You can do that? That's not what I expected."
For sure.
All right. I think we have some show offs in the chat. Some folks are talking about OGC and assembly, and we also
Yeah,
have some web developers who are saying HTML, which I know that's a contentious thing, but I am happy to accept it because you're learning a structured language that requires you to use specific keywords. And I think that should count.
of course, yes. We'll take that for sure.
All
Well,
right.
while the chat keeps blowing up with the responses, we want to get started and tell you all about what this week is. But I'm sure some of you here may be coming across the phrase Global Hack Week or at least Major League Hacking for the first time, and we want to take a few minutes to answer that before we move forward. What is Major League Hacking, you ask? We run the global hacker community, and it's a mission to empower hackers, just like all of you joining us today. And by being at this event, you are joining a community of over a million hackers. Yes, we have maybe not a million hackers joining at every Global Hack Week, but there are so many of you going to a lot of our in person events, a lot of our digital hackathons, fellowships, all of that good stuff. If this is your first Global Hack Week, we are really excited to have you here. But even if you are a Global Hack Week regular, we really appreciate the time you make out of your busy schedules to come here, interact with us, help out first-time hackers, and make sure that every Global Hack Week is equally fun and equally a learning-filled event for everyone around. Cecilia, but what exactly is Global Hack Week?
I can absolutely answer that. Well, it's something that happens every month, and it is oftentimes themed. So, this month's theme is Beginners Week. And it's a great time for you to kind of turn your brain off from hackathons a little bit, which is really sad as a hackathon researcher to say that. But in order to be a better hacker, you need to have a wider range of skills, a wider range of topics, things that you've experienced or experimented with enough that you can come to a hackathon later or even at the end of the week, possibly, where you get to put all those things you learned to the test. So, we have lots of wonderful folks this week who will be teaching you brand new topics, maybe to them and maybe to you, with the intent of being like, here's how you might get started. Because if you're afraid to get started, this is a great place to start because you're starting with everyone else. But we also have lots of incentives through our partners and resources. Siddharth, do you want to introduce our partners?
Of course. So first up, we have CK Editor, which is a modern feature-rich JavaScript editor that's infinitely customizable to build whatever you need. Imagine you are now building a blog for yourself or want to build a whole blog post platform. You would need a text editor where you can write up things and that shows up on your on the front end of what we call it, right? CK Editor lets you do all of that, and as they say, it's infinitely customizable. And I know it's going to be a lot of help for all of you there who are maybe starting your journey with programming, or even folks who are very well versed with programming and building your own hacks or projects otherwise, right? You will get to deep dive into that tool, that platform, with a workshop that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, which is going to be right after opening ceremony. And there's going to be another workshop where you deep dive into the platform itself. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday. You can go and sign up or register for both of those events when you go to the schedule page. Cecilia, if you want to drop that link in the chat. But you can go and register for both of those events right now. So you will be reminded by an email that our system would send you, so you don't miss out on any of those events. And along with that, when you go to these workshops, you will learn a lot more about that platform. And as Cecilia said, Global Hack Weeks are also a way for you to not just learn about things, but also do some hands-on challenges that will help you upskill yourself and make sure that you're building those projects that you can later showcase to other people in the community, maybe on your LinkedIn, on your resume, all of the places that you'd want to tell the world that you're upskilling yourself. For CK Editor here and for all the partners that we're going to talk about, you will have beginner-friendly technical challenges that you can work on and earn points. We'll talk about what points and all of those things are in a little bit, but that's CK Editor for you to begin with. Moving on to Figma, I'm sure that some of you here in the chat would have been introduced to Figma either through MLH hackathons that you've gone through, or maybe through your own journey of figuring out what is UI, what is UX, what is dining, and all of that. If you are coming across the word Figma for the first time, Figma is a web-based tool that allows hackers to create, share, and design tests or test designs for websites, mobile apps, and any other digital design project that you can think of. Uh, Figma doesn't only stop at giving you a way to design things, but with something called as Figma Dev Mode, which is a plugin inside of it, you also get to bring your ideas into reality that you start with design, of course, but you can then get code snippets out of the design that are actually production ready. And we want you to have that opportunity to learn about that plugin, the tool called Figma, and make use of that as you are progressing in your programming journey. Well, you will get to do that first at the workshop that's going to be happening at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's today. And we'll also have one that will be at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We know that time zones may not work for all of you. So we try and have as many workshops as possible with also different streamers because everybody has a different way of presenting things. And just to make sure that you have different ways of learning and also have these accessible ways to go to these workshops, we do that twice every Global Hack Week. But also what's very interesting about having Figma here is that you also get to sign up for their Figma education account. Well, this is one way to say that you don't have to pay for all the professional features that maybe other people in the community or other people elsewhere will have to pay for it. All you have to do is go sign up for that Figma education account and you get all of that professional features for free. You unlock everything for free. And Figma Deck Mode is also part of that whole suite of things that you get for free. So make sure you do both of those things and avail all of the amazing resources that you can get throughout this week. Who's next, Cecilia?
I think it might be GitHub. And so, if you are familiar with Git, GitHub is more of a global repository, place for you to use Git, and it's something that may become commonplace as you proceed through your degrees, as you proceed through your boot camps, or however it is that you are learning with us this week. And so we have a workshop at 2 p.m. Eastern today, which I believe the 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow I'll be running. Or maybe it's today's, I don't remember. I'm running one of them. I have to check the schedule. But you can also get a chance to sign up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack and complete some beginner-friendly challenges as you get familiar with Git, where our goal is just to make sure that you feel just a bit more comfortable, because these are things that are becoming commonplace tools for you as a developer, not only to track your work, track your changes, and make sure that you have a portfolio that you can show off, because honestly, having GitHub, having repositories is a great way to show off to employers or to people that maybe are you're looking to share your work with, in a way that like shows you're a good developer. And what does that mean? So I definitely know that our workshops will talk you through how to actually use GitHub in an effective manner, give you some keywords you may not be familiar with. If you're familiar, come join us, get a quick review, get a chance to check off some boxes and get a head start on things. Or actually help out some of our beginners, because I know our community is full of mutual learners who love to help each other out. So definitely join us for that. And I guess I'll go ahead and go with MongoDB as well, if you don't mind sharing that link in the chat for me, Siddharth. I did not prep that one. We have a workshop at 12 p.m. Eastern today and 11 a.m. Eastern on Monday. And if you're not familiar with MongoDB, well, they are the premier, if you will, NoSQL database. So if you're familiar with using Excel tables or comma-separated values, CSVs, the next big step in your developer journey can be to use databases. And what a great way to get a head start for, I think, some future Global Hack Weeks. But maybe that's a spoiler. But if you are interested in getting started, definitely check out those workshops. If you use MongoDB and you want a chance to talk to folks, we'll have workshops there. I believe it's not a coach, but it is in fact folks from MongoDB, right, Siddharth? Ooh, so it's a great opportunity to get a chance to ask those questions that maybe while you're doing your tutorials, you're like, oh, I wish I could talk to someone about this. Maybe they could help out. So definitely show them some love as one of our newer members joining us this week, because we do have folks who come back periodically, and obviously show them some love too. But it's always nice to have a fresh face, new people to talk to, new people to ask questions about, really get a deeper dive on the products that you'll be using as a developer. Now, let's talk about check-in. Well, we've mentioned that there's a check-in link already. When you just joined us, there was a check-in link on screen and we were posting it in chat. And I actually have not seen folks in chat telling people, hey, here's the check-in link. Hey, here's what to do. So I guess we'll have to do that, because one of our long-term watchers has decided to be a beginner today, which, like, honestly, you're always a beginner. So as far as checking in, you need to make sure that you've joined the main event through the mlh.link/Global Hack Week, GHW. This will ensure that you've been checked in, I think it's checking for the Discord, correct?
This is the check-in for the event. So that tells us that you were here attending the event.
Good point. There's multiple check-ins here just to make sure that you have optimized how we know that you are here and ready and joining us this week. So there's the event check-in that you'll actually go to this site. Not specifically that link, but you'll go to a lot of other check-in links that various folks who are presenting will share these links ahead of time for you to go ahead and check in. You'll have to sign up for an MLH account or a MyMLH account. You'll have to register for an event, so that way you know you're wanting to attend it. And then when the event starts, you'll want to check in. So we recommend that you register in advance to make sure that you get any notifications. I believe you can also add it to your calendar, or at least if you can't, definitely a reminder, add it to your calendar. Otherwise, you'll miss out on things. But we encourage you to check in because there are some benefits that we'll talk about later. Which later is now. Siddharth, do you want to walk us through it?
Of course, yes. And I know everybody in the chat would be listening to us and waiting to hear what is the real incentive that you're going to get in terms of swag that's going to come as a shipment to your home. Well, before we get there, I saw a question real quick here that I want to answer, if I can find it again. I saw a question here about what will happen in the workshop. I suppose this was all part of what we were talking about when we were covering the partner slides and what are the resources that they bring. So in a workshop, typically it always starts with getting an introduction to that tool. So as an example, let's say you are going to the Seek Editor workshop, you will first start to understand what that tool really is, what are different places you can use that, and how do you use that for yourself. Then they'll also walk you through any challenges that are live during this week. They will walk you through all of the minimum things that you need to know. So when you are watching that stream itself, you can then in the background complete a few challenges that will get you some points and swag, which we'll talk about a little later. But the way I would utilize workshops is to go get knowledge about a particular tool, make sure I'm asking those questions to the streamer, and then get all that questions or all those answers that I need to be able to complete that challenge. I hope that that clarifies what you were talking about. I saw a couple of people asking that. But coming back and talking about the most exciting thing at all global hack weeks, or literally any developer event, I think, is swag. And there are several ways that you can earn swag during this week. First of all is your digital swag, and I've seen a lot of you already coming in to claim that digital swag, and you may have already seen where that is. But if this is probably your first time getting to know there's also digital swag, you can find that on the same main event check-in link that we gave to you, which was mlish.link/global hack week, this one that I sent in the chat. All you have to do is scroll through the registration page, and at the end, you will see a section called resources where you'll have a link to download that frame for yourself. It's a cute little frame where you can add maybe a picture of your setup for this week. You can add a picture of your community. You can do anything with it, get as creative as you can, and then post on socials and tag us. You'll probably see our username being MLH hacks or ML hacks or Major League Hacking. Tag us in there, and we'd love to see all the things that you're doing this week. We'll also reshare some of our favorites, and we may also feature them during one of our streams later this week. So make sure all of that traffic is coming in, and show us that you are attending this week by sharing that on the socials. But that's only about digital swag. We have a lot more in-person swag that you can claim, starting with what we call as basic swag. And basic swag, I would say, is the most easiest thing that you can do, and you can actually complete all of those even before we end the opening ceremony today. But the first thing that you need to do, we already talked about it, was registering and checking into the main event, which is at mlh.link/global hack week. The second thing that you need to do is submit an address to that link. That's mlh.link/address. This is a way for us to know where do we really send the physical swag that you're going to earn this week. And the third thing that you need to do is to go to our challenges page, or often we also call that the challenges dashboard. But this is available on ghw.mlh.io/challenges. I'll quickly put that link in the chat for you as well. When you go to this link, you will find a list of challenges that we'll have running throughout the week. And you will find some of those challenges being pinned on top of the screen, which is what we call as the featured challenges. Well, this may be a little confusing, I understand, but if you ever have questions, you can ask those in the chat here or get in touch with us later on Discord, which we'll talk about as well. But all you have to do to earn basic swag is to register and check into the main event, submit an address, and complete all of the featured challenges, which are really easy registration-like challenges. Wouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to complete all that together. But that's not the end of swag. The next level of swag, as we call it, is called bonus swag. Now, once you've completed and are eligible for basic swag, if you've additionally also checked into more than 5 live events, which is to say that you went to more than 5 live events, watched it live, and also checked in using their individual registration links, which often the streamer who's on stream will drop that link in the chat. And if they end up forgetting, please remind them to do so. They will be happy to do that. But if you go to more than 5 live events this week, you will have bonus swag, which is even more things in the envelope that's getting sent to you. But for the first time, maybe at Global Hack Weeks, we also have something called the MongoDB swag that we're introducing. When you go to the challenges dashboard, you're going to see that MongoDB this time has about 5 skill badge challenges for you. Now, if you're confused of what that means, skill badges is a way for you to show the world that you are upskilling yourself, you are getting a better understanding of MongoDB, you are doing a lot more things that you can now showcase on your LinkedIn, you can talk about that on your resume. And now when you have 5 of those skill badges that you can complete, if during this week you complete at least one of them, we'll also give you some additional MongoDB stickers. So that's even more things on the envelope that's going to get sent to you. So a lot of those things are very easy for you to claim. I don't think it's going to take you anywhere more than 5 or 10 minutes to do that. But that's still not the end. We have something called surprise prizes as well. Now, surprise prizes is a way for us to thank all of the active hackers throughout the week. Now, active here can mean anybody who is active in the chat. Like all of you in the chat, I can see a lot of the chat blowing up with the responses, and I'm hardly able to keep up with the face of what you're writing on the chat. But we also give out these to anybody who's helpful to other hackers in the community or to anybody in the community in general. This is a way for us to say thank you for all the good things that you do. Thank you for finding time to come join us. And when you get a surprise prize, one of the MLHers who's noticing you being active in the chat or being helpful in Discord will come and tell you that you've gotten yourself a surprise prize, and also will tell you the instructions to claim that. But I think to demonstrate better how we give out surprise prizes, I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to get started. Cecilia, how about we give out one right now?
That is a great idea. I've just been answering questions as fast as they come in. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of questions this week. What do we want to ask folks to figure out the surprise prize? Or do you think there's someone in chat that you think's been really helpful so far?
Um, well, it's been moving too quickly. I've not been keep following the chat instead. How about we ask everyone to maybe if this is someone who's a regular global hacking streamer, we'll ask them for what their favorite global hacking theme is. If there's someone coming in for the first time, we'll ask them what their favorite programming language is. How about that?
Ooh, how about what are Global Hack Week themes they might want to see in the future?
That's an even better idea. Let's do that then. So for
Yeah.
anybody who's watching us live right now, all you have to do is in the chat tell us what are some global hack week themes that you would want to see us run. We'll give you about a couple of minutes. We know there's a little bit of a delay from when we speak and when you hear it. By then, we'll scroll through the question and see what we can answer. But put your answers in the chat. Tell us what are the themes that you'd want us to run in the future. Then we'll select one person in that chat who will get surprise prizes. Cecilia, did you see any questions that we should be answering right
There
now?
are a couple. I am scrolling back up because I've just been like, oh, there's some I was able to answer and some not so much. We had a few questions like, these are a ton of links. Where should we go? And so if you are looking for a chance to see all the possible links you would need, I'm trying to find where I posted the answer. Oh my goodness. We can verbalize it at least. Or if you want to, oh, wow, there's so many answers. I'm losing track of things.
I can post it.
Well, if you go to Global Hack Week, ghw.mlh.io, that will have every link we have shared, slightly differently worded perhaps. But that is where you can go to see current Global Hack Week, so Beginner's Week. Go ahead and click on that to make sure that you can check into the event. And if you scroll around or interact with the tab on top, you'll be able to find the rest of the links. They won't, again, be worded as like shortcuts as we have them here in the presentation. That said, as you join us for other Today in Global Hack Weeks, if you're free, and you're available, we'll be resharing these links throughout the week as a reminder of things that you need to make sure that you've checked in for to make sure you're as eligible as possible for any things that you are curious about. We also had a few questions. Oh gosh, the chat moved again. There are so many questions. We also had a few folks who were asking, like, well, why am I checking in and what do I check in for? And, do I need to go to everything? And the answer is no, don't go to everything. Please sleep. We have streams throughout the time zones to best accommodate the fact that we have a worldwide community. So if you're worried about not being able to get the swag for, let's say, attending 5 live events or more, we do try to schedule things. That's all Siddharth, actually. I shouldn't be taking credit for that. Siddharth makes sure that the schedule has at least 5 or more live events possible for each time zone, pretty much. Because again, we want to make sure that everyone has a fair chance that they get to see things. But if you miss out on watching a live event, you can always go to the MLH YouTube channel and check out the past streams. Especially if you're like, oh, I missed part 1, or I had, some things to do during part 1, or I saw part 1, but I didn't see part 2, and now part 3 is coming up. You can always watch those streams on your own time whenever. I don't believe you'll be able to check in, but given you will do your best to attend what you can, what you're interested in, we are happiest when you are making your own adventure of however you'd like to participate in Global Hack Week. Trying to see if there's other questions.
We have a lot of responses for that prompt now.
Oh no, that sounds like a great problem though. That means that is for you in the future. And another popular question that doesn't quite come up all that often, but definitely comes up toward the beginning of our season. Can they participate in Global Hack Week solo, or is it compulsory to perform with a group? And the beauty of Global Hack Week is that all these challenges can be done on your own. So if you prefer to be solo, that's totally fine. Or if it's a quick enough one, you can honestly complete it solo anyway. But you might be able to work with friends, but all have your own submissions. There is no requirement to work with your group or with a group that you found online. But if you're feeling brave and wanting to meet new folks, there's a chance that you can hop into the Discord and chat with folks as you're working on projects, basically bodily doubling each other or something, or even just asking for help if you're stuck. There is nothing wrong with asking for help, working with other people to ensure that you've submitted what you want to submit. So, Darth, I think I'm going to leave you to find the answer or an answer that you like since you are our resident Global Hack Week planner. Also, because I'm still scrolling through questions and I'm afraid to go to the bottom.
I can totally understand. Well, I'll do a quick pass to go through all of this and also call out some of them, which I think was really interesting. I see a lot of AI/ML themes that people would want to go to. Well, interestingly, we did a couple already, and we also have one coming up really quickly. So you would want to keep an eye out to know when we're doing the next one. I see a few folks also talking about cybersecurity, which I think is a really interesting theme. I don't know if we've done one of those in the past, but I think that's a really interesting theme for us to consider. Um, what else did we have in the chat? I saw
Thought we
someone
did
talking about
security like in the first year of Global Hack Weeks.
security.
Yeah, I think we did security once because I remember seeing it in my email when you were recruiting us coaches and being like, huh, I don't know what I would do for a cybersecurity project. And then I kept thinking, and then the week passed, and I was like, oh no.
Well, then we should, I think, continue to do so. I think a lot of people in the chat really want us to do that. I see Web3 also is something that we have done in the past. I think I have my winner here. I'm going to pin this, which I think is a very cool thing to do, but we've never done in the past, which is climate impact. I can definitely think how we can have all of those technologies fall into that bracket while still talking about climate change and a lot of impact around that, still being able to build cool hacks for it to track climate change or maybe to have the community grow towards making a green, sustainable environment. So many cool things, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, for the friend whose comment that we just pinned, do us a favor and click a screenshot of what you see in the chat, what you see on your screen, sorry, which is your thing being pinned onto the chat, and hold it there. We'll tell you how to claim your prize in just a little bit. But moving forward, every time someone gives you a support ticket, it may be on Discord, it may be also on during these streams, we will ask you to create a support ticket on Discord to claim it. And I'll walk you through what Discord is, what it looked like, and what you can actually create, and how you can actually create a support ticket. Speaking quickly of it, the first thing that you need to do is where exactly is our Discord server. It's at discord.mlh.io. The link should be in the chat in just a second. But when you first join it, you will not have a way to interact with all the different channels. I'm sorry. The first thing that you need to do is find a channel that's called Start Here. That has instructions of how you want to get started and how is that you link your Discord account to your MyMLH account. MyMLH account is what you create when you come over to Global Hack Weeks or register for one of our events or submit to any of the challenges. And we want to make sure that you are able to link your Discord to your MyMLH accounts because we are now experimenting with a lot of cool things. Shout out to Jasper. I don't know if Jasper is watching the stream right now, but Jasper is someone who's doing a lot of interesting changes on our Discord server. But the first thing that you need to do is look for the channel called Start Here and follow the instructions on that channel to get general access to all the general channels. But now, because you are here for Global Hack Week, we want to make sure that you have access to Global Hack Week specific channels as well. Now, what you need to do is on the top left of your screen, go find a channel that's called Channels and Rules. Click on that, answer a question that asks you if you're participating at Beginners Week. Just say yes to that question, and you will have the roles that you need to get access to Global Hack Week channels. One way quickly to figure out if you have access to the channel is to look for a channel called Beginners Week. If you see that and if you're able to send messages there, that's exactly what you need to be talking to other folks during the week and ask all the questions that you have moving forward. But because we talked about support tickets very briefly earlier on, support tickets is a way for you to get in touch with our team and ask us questions directly. Now, questions can be of different types. If you have a general question which is around, hey, I'm running into this programming issue, I have a bug here, how do I resolve this? Most times the community is going to be faster than or quicker to answer that question for you than any of us can ever be. So I would recommend you to post that on one of the general channels where you can ask your question with more detail, all you have to do is maybe create a screenshot or send a screenshot, add a little bit of details of what you're running into. But if in any case you have a question that requires you to send us any of your personally identifiable information, which can be your email in most cases, that's when you need to be creating a support ticket. That will make sure that whenever you're sending us that information, it's only between you and another MLHR who is answering your question there. So for the friend that we had pinned the chat earlier, which is this one, all
They
you have to do,
screenshot
right?
it, so they're
Oh,
good.
you amazing. So now all you have to do is go create a support ticket and just let us know that you are this person who got swag, and then one of us will get back to Discord a little later after the opening ceremony, and we'll add you to the list of swag drop winners. Now, moving on to challenges, I know we've been talking about this word quite a bit, challenges, but do you want to give us a quick walkthrough of what that is, Cecilia?
Sure. So, with challenges, our goal is to help you put things to practice. There are lots of opportunities to basically learn brand new things, but we want to give you an easy way of getting that like check mark feeling, or that, I did something at least. Now I've, passed go, collected my $200, however you prefer to go about it. Our goal is to make sure that you have a little bit of a goalpost to work towards in getting the basics, however simple it might be, enough that you feel empowered to go on and build greater and bigger things. So we have challenges throughout the week to keep you hacking, basically. From short coding prompts to design challenges, it is for everyone. And our goal is just, hey, challenge yourself to make something. And it's okay if you get stuck. It's okay if you need help. This isn't like a class assignment where you're not allowed to talk to your friends and people will accuse you of cheating. This is really just a try something new. It won't be perfect. It won't always be beautiful. But the goal is that you did it for yourself and for the betterment of yourself. So, if you are still very interested, still motivated, still curious to see what we have in store for you, we encourage you to go to the challenges dashboard, which will allow you to submit your answers or your projects, your screenshots, or whatever it is that the challenge is requesting. So that way you can be eligible for the various swag drops that we have. Now, remember, you need to complete our partner challenges, which are usually going to be at the very top of the dashboard. By completing those, you will guarantee that you will get a swag drop from us, which will have some simple stickers and I believe a postcard. By again, of course, checking into live events, which is a separate challenge that's not quite on the dashboard. Just by checking into those event links, you'll get a chance to have some extra custom stickers. And the challenge dashboard is actually pretty brand new. We've run it for about 3 or 4 Global Hack Weeks so far. And while it is pretty new, we also know that you all are the ones interacting with it the most. So if you find bugs on Discord, go ahead and report it on the the channel bug reports. Sorry, it's early for me. I've been up a bit. But go to the bug reports channel. Let us know what you ran into. Think about your fellow developer and how, if they found a bug, how you would want it communicated to you. You don't necessarily need to propose fixes, but you do need to say, how did you find this bug? Whether it's screenshots or a quick video, something that would just help folks figure it out and able to test it on their end, so that way they can make sure that you have a much better experience. Now, challenges do close on the 14th of August at 8 a.m. Eastern, so you have this entire week to work on things, plus a little bit extra. But we know that your schedules are busy, so there's not really a time limit on most other challenges except for just checking in at your live streams, which again is not on the dashboard. But the individual projects themselves, you can take as long or as little as you need, and sometimes they're a simple form and just a screenshot. So don't be too intimidated, but if you do get stuck, there is the rest of the community on Discord. There's our Today in Global Hack Weeks. There's folks on the streams who will be doing workshops this week. They can always help you out. We are always happy to answer questions. So I know that can seem intimidating, but I really want to say, don't be afraid. We're here to help. And starting Sunday, you'll get a chance to read the Daily Points email, which will help you check in with yourself on where you're at. So if you're realizing that you didn't submit a challenge properly or there's a discrepancy somewhere, this is your chance to double check. So that way you're not stressing about, well, did I submit it right? Did I get the points? Did I do enough? You get a chance to check in with yourself on Sunday. Throughout the rest of the week, I believe you'll be getting the email every day after Sunday. So that way you can make sure that you are accurately being counted for attendance in the workshops and counted for challenges that you submitted, just to ensure that you think everything is good. We do have a couple questions about whether they should complete all the challenges, one of the challenges. We have talked about it earlier with, if you want to be eligible for swag drops, then you should be making sure that you do our featured challenges. Doing those will ensure you get our basic swag drop, which is a postcard and a few stickers. The other part to get more swag is separate from the daily challenges and weekly challenges that we have, where we just encourage you to check into the event that you are attending. So, for example, we have to make sure that you are checked into the event, which means the broader week of Beginner's Week. Siddharth, if you can find that link for us. Then we also want you to check into individual streamed events or Discord mini events. And there are quite a few. So if you check out the Global Hack Week schedule, you can plan ahead, register for an event that you are interested in, and get those reminders so that way you can be on time and excitedly joining us and catching all the information. But if you do miss things, don't stress. There's always stuff on YouTube. We always post our streams there. So I think I already got ahead of myself with live streams, but maybe you can cover whatever I've missed, Siddharth.
For sure. I want to answer this question real quick, which is about who can participate at Global Hack Weeks. It's for everyone. Like we said, we are a community of more than a million hackers now, and we're actively growing. It's for anybody who wants to learn anything related to computer science. We are really open to doing any of that. So you are welcome to join, irrespective of where you're joining us from. But speaking of live streams, when you're not working on challenges, I'm sure you've now understood that there's going to be a lot of online content, a lot of live content that's going to be running throughout the week. And that's what we call as live streams. You can watch them on Twitch and YouTube. I'm sure all of you have already figured that out because you're watching us live right now. Uh, but we also want to highlight that there's a way for you to go and understand and maybe register for all of the different streams that's happening all throughout the week. And all of that is going to be available on ghw.mlh.io/schedule. You will see smaller tabs that say day 1, day 2, all the way through day 6. Click on any of those, go through the schedule and register for all of that. The registration is active right now. But we want to now give you a quick heads up of what's coming up right after. I know we talked about a few streams already, but let's just walk you through what you can expect during this day. We will now have, which is right after this, about 15 minutes or 20 minutes after we wrap up, you will then have the folks from CK Editor team come up and get you started with the tool CK Editor. This, like I said, is a feature-rich text editor that you can have into your hacks that you're building out at a hackathon or even otherwise. All of the magic will happen at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be around 8:30 p.m. IST for folks in India.
Then
Who's
we
next?
have MongoDB 101. So if you've never used MongoDB, this is a great time to check it out. And again, spoiler, prepare for, I think, a global hack week that's ahead of us. I might be wrong. I might be very much skewing my months. But the point is, you'll get a chance to learn how to use a NoSQL database with the MongoDB team. Incredible opportunity, truly. I'm so jealous. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 p.m. IST with a beginner-friendly overview of MongoDB. The reason I'm so excited about this is because this is obviously the most popular database that I see at hackathons. So, hint, hint.
Well, a
Then
quick
go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to give a quick heads up about MongoDB that as we said, we have the MongoDB swag also given out as an additional swag item this time around. So when you're going to that workshop, make sure you understand how those skill badges are claimed. And I think you'll also watch the streamer walk you through how you can claim your first skill badge. That's going to be as easy as just watching that stream for a few minutes, and that will give you the MongoDB sticker, the MongoDB swag that we've been talking about. But over to you, Cecilia.
All right. So we've talked about different kinds of live streams. And so we've already seen some of our partner live streams because we just announced those. But we also have coaches here at MLH who are giving introductions to various things, like Jocelyn, who's talking to you about our Figma to Code learning design with Figma Dev Mode. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 p.m. IST, where if you're interested in getting into design or you're interested in porting your designs to real code, this is your chance to find out. And if you've seen our past Figma workshops and you still have questions, or maybe the way that they explain things wasn't one that resonated with you, we always have a rotation of new coaches giving the same presentation but with their own flares. So there's a chance for you to check it out and see if it actually works with you. It also gives you a chance to join up with Figma and sign up for their education developer pack, I believe. I know I'm saying that wrong, but I know that they have an education specific, which gives you access to dev mode because normally you'd have to pay for it. But not this time. Figma is here and ready to help you learn and get into design as easy as possible. So make sure you join Jocelyn to make sure that you get all the freebies that you need to become an even better developer over the next year. Then we have me. I'll be at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 p.m. IST, where our goal is to get good with Git. And so, if you're not familiar with Git or you're a little bit intimidated, whether it's that you prefer to use UIs, I will be helping you out with command line, though I will show you some UI based things if you're still a bit intimidated. We'll get into the essential concepts, making sure that you have an idea of what to expect as you get started in version controlling your project. We'll also do a brief bit where we're making sure that if you have or can get access to the Student Developer Pack, that process is started before you start attending hackathons throughout the year, because it'll make you just that much better as in terms of access and resources and things you could possibly use in the coming year at your hackathon or even in your classes. Then we have Alberto, who's understanding Python environments for a part 1 of, I don't know how many streams, I'm guessing 2 or 3. He'll be on at 3 p.m. Eastern, midnight 30 a.m. IST, where you'll be looking at how to keep your Python projects clean, organized, and conflict-free. This is a really hard topic, and I'm so glad that Alberto's doing it, because this is a really common pitfall for folks at hackathons. So I hope you'll attend, join him, and get a feel for what you might be running into when you are rested and ready and not sleep deprived at a hackathon, where you'll just breeze through it after you've gone to Alberto's streams. What's next, Siddharth?
Yeah, before we head next, I thought we should answer this question real quick. This is similar to what Cecilia was talking about when you asked us the question, or should we attend or attempt all of the challenges? No, we don't expect you to go to all of these sessions, because not all of them are going to be very time zone friendly to you. And we want you to also go sleep, go do other things that you need to do on a daily basis. Only come in and attend which ones you think you can actually make it to. All the other content will always live on our YouTube channel. I'm sure you will be able to figure out where that is. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search for Major League Hacking. But no, please make sure that you are getting enough rest, are hydrated throughout the week, go to school, go to work, do all of the things that you really need to do throughout the week. But right after Alberto's stream, we have Jocelyn coming to coming to run what we call as a mini event. Now you will keep see folks coming in to run a mini event, at least one or couple of them throughout each day. Mini events are a way for you to take a break from hacking, get together as a community, and then just have fun. There's nothing serious happening here. It's just all of you getting together, have a good chatter, have a lot of fun playing some sort of a game, if I can call it that. Now, this one here is about Wikipedia races, where you're actually racing between a couple of Wikipedia pages, but there are some limitations of what you can do and some limitations of what you cannot do. You will find out all about that. It's a really fun game to play. That's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's a pretty early hour for the folks in IST, which is 7:30 a.m. Then we have UT coming in to do a host of streams together. UT's track, if this is your first time going to a UT track, UT does about four parts to each of his streams at least, and can go up to about 6 of them. For this Global Hack Week, it's about 4 parts only. UT does a lot of streams that's related to a project that UT is working on right now or worked on recently. So this is more of UT coming back and sharing the knowledge that he has gained in the recent past. This one here is about you all getting together to make an online song maker using React.js, which I thought was very, very cool. The part 1 of it is going to happen at 5 a.m. Eastern. That's 2:30 p.m. IST, followed by part 2. That's going to be at 7 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. IST. Don't worry about going to 2 streams back to back. UT does a really good job in spacing those out. UT will also communicate as and when you can go take a break. UT will also take breaks in between. So you're not going to be burned out. And UT is going to do a good job in making sure you're not burnt out. But if at any point you feel like that's too much content for today, you want to just go back and sleep or take some rest or do something else, feel free to do that. You can always come back and watch the recordings later. And then, like I said, if you were around when we were giving our introductions, there is an introduction to our programming thing, a stream that we're running maybe for the first time at any Global Hack Week. This is being run by Quinn. Quinn will walk you through how you get started with that language, maybe how it's different from other programming languages that you've done, and what are some good use cases for this programming language and why you should be really running it. All of that happens at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 6:30 p.m. in the IST time zone. Last but not the least, I think this is probably the last stream for day 1, but this is where Ryan Lalu is going to walk you through how you can make better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot. Well, one of the features or one of the additional tools that you get inside of the Student Developer Pack, the GitHub Student Developer Pack, is indeed GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot, if you don't know, is AI companion. Think of this as a friend that you can have by your side whenever you are writing a piece of code and you don't know how to proceed further. Even if you are someone who already knows how to write code, this will make your coding journey significantly faster. And Ryan will do a lot of details about how it makes it faster, faster by how much percentage, and also demonstrate how you can sign up for GitHub Copilot and give you also a quick demo of how you can use it. It's not just only for you to do auto completes to your program or the piece of code that you're writing, but it also does a good job in explaining someone else's code to you, helping you write documents, helping you fix bug, of course. All of that will happen at 11 a.m. Eastern at Ryan's workshop. That's going to be 8:30 p.m. for folks in IST. But every day when we wrap up a day in Global Hack Week, we wrap up our day at around 12 p.m. Eastern. That's about 9:30 p.m. IST for folks in India. And you will always find someone coming in to do a Today in Global Hack Week stream right around the same hour. In that stream, it's for the streamer to come around and give you a recap of what the previous day looked like, and also give you a quick overview of what the next day is going to look like. Well, that's what the streamer is primarily going to be there to do. But this is also a good opportunity for you to come join the streamer and ask any questions that you have about Global Hack Week, any fun chatter that you'd want to do. That's, of course, always welcome. But this is a way for you to interact and make sure that you have all the knowledge that you want. And you can, of course, come back with questions on Discord always. But that wraps up the schedule for day one. But when you are going to all of these live streams and you're attending all of the mini events, we really want to hear of what you feel of all of the different content that you're consuming this week. And that really helps us make Global Hack Weeks better. All you have to do is go to this link. That's mlh.link/GHW feedback. And I'll get you that in the chat right now. It's a really short, I think does not take up more than 2 minutes, given how much detailed feedback that you'd want to leave. But if you go to that link, it's probably the easiest survey out there that you can quickly fill and let us know what stream you went to, what you like about it, what you think we should do better, all of that stuff. The last thing, or one of the last links, I should say, I know we've been giving you a lot of links, but don't worry about any of that. You can always come back and ask us for that again. But no Global Hack Week is complete without any of the demos, any of the projects that we are building together. And at Global Hack Weeks, we always invite hackers to come demo their projects live to the rest of the community. You can also do that at Beginners Week. All you have to do is go to that link, which is mlh.link/GHW demo. And I'll also give you that in the link, in the chat. There you go. This is again a very simple survey where you can tell us what is the hack that you want to demo. Just link us to the GitHub repository, or if you have a screen recording of it, just tell us a little bit more about what it is actually. And we'd love to have you come and join us, or join one of the streamers during a live stream and showcase what you're building throughout the week. No worries if you don't want to come in live and demo it. You can always just link us to those projects and tell us that you want one of us to be speaking of your project. We're more than happy to do so. And we do that every day during the Durian Global Hacking streams. So we would love to see what you're building, even if it's not a Beginners Week related challenge. Just go ahead and link us to any exciting project that you want the other folks to be listening to. This can be a way for you to get more feedback on your projects. That will also be a way for you to look for more teammates if you want it, right? We want to see all of the cool things that you're building this week. But now, speaking of demos, I think we should do a good job in kicking off the demos and the tradition of demos and show them a quick demo, I think, Cecilia.
I think that's a great idea. I almost forgot about it, to be honest. I was like, demo. There's something about this. All right. So give us a little bit of a moment while I go ahead and share my screen. If it will let me. All right.
Yeah,
make sure it's good to go. Awesome. So right off the bat, I have a Visual Studio Code window open. It's already prepped. I'm zooming in so that way you can see it. And I've got a prompt in my Rue Code window. And as for what we're doing, we are making a basic chat app, the hello world of AI. Uh-oh.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're not still on the Visual Studio Code window. We still see stream.
No, we're not. Oh, I know why. Hang on.
Yeah, take your time. By then, I can look for other questions that we can quickly answer.
Yeah, we did have one who was asking about, what was I thinking? The whether they can add their code to GitHub.
Yeah, of course, you should definitely do that. And that's an easier way for you to link other people to your code or your project whenever you're building one. Whenever you have things built on your laptop, just add that to GitHub and then share that to people. That's good way for you to also have people come contribute to your project. They can always share it with other people. They can also give you a star to encourage the effort that you're putting inside of building a project. I also see one here about so many sessions being hosted during this week. How will we do challenges? Like we said, global hack weeks are a way for you to learn a lot, of course, but we also want you to create your own path, create your own route, create your own journey, which means you get to decide what sessions you want to go to, you get to decide what challenges you want to attempt, and you don't really have to stop building this or going to sessions just throughout this week. You'll always have access to building this later on or watching these streams later on, right? So make your own journey. If you ever want us to give you recommendations, just let us know. I'll be happy to give you some recommendations based on your interest, of course. But I think we are ready to go with the demo now, Cecilia.
Think so. If you want to add things to stage, if it looks correct.
Yes, it looks correct now. Cool.
Excellent. I think I clicked the wrong share window. So one more time, let's take it from the top. So I am using Gemini to help us make a chat app. This is the hello world of AI where I just want to get an initial structure together, but then I'm going to go off and build more on top of it later on, or investigate why are things being built a certain way. So I've already submitted a prompt. It has this to-do list that I actually pasted over here for my prompt file. I'm going to go ahead and approve, and due to some things, it's making me approve everything. But as you can see, it's currently creating a virtual environment for me. Love that. It's taking a moment. And then it's going to activate it for me as well, so it can actually follow through with installing things. Now, if you're not familiar with Python, check out Alberto's stream where he'll tell you all about how you can set up your environment. But this is doing it for me. If I didn't know what was going on, which I do, I would go ahead and take an idea from this task list or from the commands it's running and go Google it and to understand like what really is going on. Like why is it doing certain things? Why is it picking these libraries? How did it find these libraries? And while I technically, wrote the prompt that said go pull all the stuff we need, we wanted to use a Flask application. And this is a common prototyping Python like library that you'll end up using. But if I didn't know, again, I'd go, okay, here's the structure of this Flask app. What does this even mean and how am I working with it and what am I doing? And so right now it's asking to create an index.html, which if you're familiar with web dev, then this is something that you can kind of expect. I'm fine with this where I need to understand, well, what is this app going to even look like? So we'll go ahead and hit save. And now it's going to add in any logic that it needs in the app.py and then actually run it. So it is all set up. We have a virtual environment. We like it. Let's see what it looks like. So once it's running, I actually have it in this next window. I'll go ahead and refresh. It might change a bit because my previous run of this, all right, it seems like it's going to stay the same. Ooh, usually it is different to show I don't have this running in another tab, I swear. But I'm going to ask it, hi Gemini, what is Global Hack Week? And I'm going to spell it out because I don't know what it may pull from. And I want to make sure it's as close to accurate as possible. That is a very stretched window right there. But let's see. Okay, it's getting those HTTP requests just because it's taking a moment. It needs to think a bit while it gets those responses. But it looks like it's giving us a pretty reasonable response. It's quite large. I should have said, give me one sentence. But right off the bat, it's telling us it's a virtual week-long hackathon event organized by us here at Major League Hacking. It is virtual, where our goal is to invite anyone around the world to join us, or we have workshops to help you build projects of your own design. Awesome. This was a great answer. So what if I wanted to share it with you? And this is something that as a demo is not always the case. Very often it's locally hosted. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to my prompt where I'm going to expose this so that way you can ask it questions. So I'm going to go ahead and say use ngrep. No, we don't need to reject that. Just open a new window, hopefully. Yes, I want to run that. Come on. Expose it. It's inconsistent about how it does it. So you'll notice that I'm reading what it's telling me because I'm terrified. I don't need to actually add these things. It may be a better coding process, but for me, I'm I just want to run the command. I know what's going on. I just want it to run. It's not actually using the correct stuff, unfortunately. kind of sucks. It's using the wrong link, so we'll go ahead and go grab the correct link. So let's go ahead and close that, open up a new window, see if it will give me the correct one in my history. Yes, it will. So sometimes it doesn't always work beautifully, and that's okay. But let's see if it works now. Where I'm going to ask it one more time. What is Global Hack Week? So we see it look the same. We're using an actual web page. It's going to take a moment, hopefully, to think and then give us that answer. It won't be the same answer, I expect, but love it. So why don't you go ahead and go to that link? Siddharth is probably switching us over to the window that gives you access to the link to try out this demo on your own like your laptop, your desktop, your phone, whichever it is that you're using. I'll leave it up for the remainder of opening ceremony, so that way you can get a chance to play with it, just to get a feel for, whoa, AI wrote this in like a little under 5 minutes. We had some technical difficulties, but that's just because I really wanted to read what was being written and go, well, I don't really need that, or I want you to do this other thing because I know there's something else that exists. You won't always have that intuition depending on the exposure of your knowledge, but that's what learning is for, and that's what Global Hack Week can hopefully help you do. But in the meantime, if anybody has an interesting question that they've asked, feel free to post it in chat. Do keep it, friendly and PG, just because we do want to make sure that we're all having a good time and no one's having a rough one. All right.
That was awesome. Well, I see someone in the chat here saying, why did they even learn web dev when Gemini can do everything in 2 minutes? Well, I think the short answer here is you saw Cecilia also go talk to Gemini and fix a few things when it did not work as expected. That's exactly why you should still be learning web development. And we've seen questions around, will AI take up my job? Will AI make software developers go out of the industry? That's never going to be the case. Like you just saw Cecilia be a good example of it, right? You will always have to talk to it like you would to your fellow teammate or to a friend when you do so. And you will have to guide it to get to what you really want it to do, right? So if you have been learning web dev, if you already know all of it, you are on the right path and you should continue to do so for sure. And again, like Cecilia said, this link is active for you to go back and try it for your own. Let us know whatever you are asking Gemini and tell us if the responses are coming out correctly.
Within reason, I don't want to read weird messages.
Cool. I see no questions, so we're going to go back to our deck and go forward.
We seem to have
On a
lost
serious
our deck. Oh, there it is. Sorry, cut.
Well, on a serious note, MLH hackathons are a safe space for everyone, and by being at this event, you are agreeing to abide by the MLH Code of Conduct. If you've not read that yet, I highly recommend you do so by visiting that link on your screen. That's mlh.io/code of conduct. The TLDR is to be respectful, and no form of harassment or abuse will ever be tolerated at any of our events. Particularly at digital events, we like to remind folks that there's always a human on the other side, and it's never appropriate to comment on people's appearances. Well, even if you mean it as a compliment, it may make folks feel uncomfortable, so it's never appropriate to do so. If you are having an issue, please get in touch with us immediately using that email that you see on the screen or the phone line. You can also create a Discord ticket if you feel that that's going to be faster. But we want all of you to have fun, and we're going to make sure that all of you are really having fun this week. With that, we want to thank all of our partners again for being around to help you out. And you're going to find some of them also be on Discord. You're going to find a lot more people coming on to workshops live, and they're taking out a lot of time to come and share all of that knowledge with you, right? Go give them all of the love. We've seen a lot of you being responsive in the chat. Give them the same love. And I think in a few minutes, you will see folks from CK Editor come in. And I think we're right about time to go end the stream as well. Cecilia, any parting notes before we call it a day?
Have fun. You will always be a beginner, but as you get more knowledge, you will have other things that you're less of a beginner, and you get to help out others and pay it forward.
Right. Well, go grab water real quick. The stream will start in just about a couple of minutes after we are done, but we hope to see you around throughout the week. Don't forget to come ask questions whenever you need help, and happy hacking.
Bye.